nothing to sneeze at, as brother guy was talking about. 1,500 books sold, man. That's quite a bit, and we're just in day 2, so we appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all showing love, and much love to everybody that obviously worked on it. Shout out Flash. I know Literature Devil was part of it, and the editorial team, as well as doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the side stories from the battlefield. The whole deal. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all worked hard on this project, and I'm just glad y'all are able to reap these benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
congrats, Flash.
It's a process. Literature Devil was a huge help, especially getting the focus on where we're going to go with it. Because writing a comic book is kind of challenging, I must say. The hardest thing about it is really taking the story that you want to tell and condensing it down to something that makes sense for however many pages you're going to do.
Yeah, because you had a page goal, and I was like, okay, here's the story that you want to get to, but we had to fit it within the right structure and everything. So I think it ends pretty well. I don't know. I haven't seen it since I last looked at it, but and I don't know how many changes happened. I know Kara Brown was part of the editorial teams. I don't know how many.
She did a lot of help getting it formatted for lettering.
Okay,
because I've never written a comic script before, so
it's a challenge too. It's because it is it just your brain was just heats up because you have to think about every single thing, because it's not just like I'm writing a sentence here and a sentence like you do in a prose book. Like when you write a comic script, you have to make sure every single thing in that panel is there that needs to be there.
She was a big help with lettering, and I had her take another pass at the dialogue. Not a lot of changes. I
have to say that having another eye on dialogue is a really good idea. As I always say, the final.
I want the book to be good, so.
Yeah, the final boss of every single story you will ever make is dialogue. You can get past like characters and story structure and climax or whatever, but the dialogue will always be the last boss you have to face. So go over that as many times as possible.
Yeah, I wanted it to be good. So, the more eyes on it, the better.
How long did it take you to make it, Flash?
A long time. It took a while. Mostly, so a lot of the things was, so Dillard, and I see people asking where is he? He couldn't make it tonight. He wanted to. He couldn't make it tonight. He did some family stuff. He might still pop on. It's up to him. He has the link. But he had some stuff going on. He couldn't make it. He will be on. We have all the way till July. He's going to be on the stream many times from here on out. And he's always welcome here. So definitely you will see him on here talking about the book for sure. He just couldn't make it tonight. So he's here in spirit, I'm sure.
Are we supposed to have a beer? Because I can go get one real quick.
Yeah, if you want to.
Beer was
go get your Fosters, man. Go do
it. Yeah, so it took a while. See, so part of the not so much of a problem is thing. Like Dillard mostly worked on this in his spare time. He has other work that he does. He's not destitute, as a lot of people like to frame the picture on him. He's also a grown man and can make his own decisions. A lot of people hate on him, but also don't want to really see him succeed. A lot of concern trolling, but we're used to it by now. It's funny that the only one that never complains about any of it is Dillard himself. Anyway.
Funny how that works.
Water off a duck's back. He just does his thing. I just thought I'd bring
There's
it
definitely an Aussie
Oh,
saying.
refresh that. Those total sales are a lot higher than that now.
Oh, they have gone up by like 30. Nice. There you go.
Yeah, almost halfway to $100,000.
Yeah, it's good. And to further contextualize, like the numbers, I think it's important. Definitely when you're looking at the sales numbers with Riversen and Riververse, we don't put shipping or the other fees, donations, and taxes. We don't consider that as part of the total sales goal. So what you're seeing on our site is just raw sales. So they're almost 50 grand and just straight up raw sales. So much congrats to y'all, man. Again, we're only in day 2. We got a long campaign, so you have plenty of time to get your items. But you should go pre-order it now.
Yeah, because some of the covers won't be around. So cover C, which will be limited.
Yep.
So
Do you want to go through the covers?
for you
Cover A?
collectors out there, yeah. Bias. This is one's my favorite. This is Kelsey Shannon's work. I didn't even know he was going to do a painted cover, and he did a great job with that. Big fan of that cover.
Cover B.
There's Mike Miller's doing like a kind of like a movie poster with that one. That was his.
That's
That
cool.
was
I
his
actually
goal with
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Cover
Really,
C.
really sweet dynamic pose there. She did a good job on that. And then everyone's favorite, Rob Willis's,
Yeah. Cover D.
Yeah, that one's dope.
Yeah.
which is
Can't wait to
also
see the
only
cover
$17.
poster.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one unlimited one. So we'll read a lot of y'all's reader copy is going to be that cover D. And yeah, it's only $17, 64-page book, $17. Can't beat that.
Ooh, it's good.
So what's
That's
the
cool.
idea here, Flash? Like once this comes out officially, it's out there. Is the plan to like make more in the future of this character or like another character? Like what's the deal?
I'd like to make more, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
There's at least a 3 comic story arc here, and it could go on because I mean you could pass the power to someone else eventually. So I mean it could just keep going. And who's to say there aren't more powers out there with more people to join the fight? But we'll have to wait and see the second book for that. This book, though, can very much be enjoyed by itself. It can be a one-shot. So, I mean, you get a definitive ending here in this one. So it's something that you can pick up and just enjoy for what it is. It could be someone's first comic book, which is very important, I think. That's, a lot of the problem with the mainstream stuff that I hate is everything is set up as a graphic novel. So you're not really getting like a comic by itself that can really be enjoyed by itself. Everything goes into whatever the next comic is going to be. That's been a problem with floppies in the mainstream for a long time, and I hate it. You can pick this up and be thoroughly satisfied with this one issue. And I think that's important. That's something that's lost in a lot of mainstream comics.
Okay, one thing I liked about the cover on that one when I saw it, I'll go up for backing, was the Japanese guy. I think it's a Japanese guy, the villain. That one reminded me like Rob Liefeld era, which is I love the shading and the art style of that era. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, he did a good job with that cover. That's Clint Helinski's cover for Tales from the Battlefield.
Get a T-shirt.
Yeah, get your shirt, man. That's a cool shirt. You guys did a good job with that one.
So go ahead and tell us, Flash, like as far as the concept, because I know I've talked about this on my channel, right? And how with your first book, you could have gone a quote unquote safe route, but you decided to really, you've mixed things that you were influenced by, a little bit of manga, favorite stuff from comics, and you're doing this kind of alternative history book. Whose idea? I know you and Dillard kind of tag teamed on the general story, but like who first conceptualized that?
Me.
Okay.
I went to him with the idea.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where it kind of went from there. He liked it, and then we started developing it and figuring out what we were going to do,
Yeah, I liked it too. I guess I know you showed me. I know in our meetings you showed me like the kind of comic book era you were interested in, and yeah, it felt very much like that. Like, was it called like the golden? I think it was the golden age comic era that you most had inspiration from, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And, this reads very much like that. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I honestly like the idea. It's a lot of fun. I like World War II stuff. I like the twist of adding those mech guys in there. That's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed like the little twist to it. It's kind of like Wolfenstein. Kind of remind me of Wolfenstein a little bit. I do like me some Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I love those Wolfenstein games, man. That's I love alternate history in general. I love it when they especially do like you ever see like High Man in the Castle and stuff. Like all that shit is fun to me. Like just big what if stories. I like part of the reason why this is here, it exists because of that.
I like how the what's it called? The Wolfenstein went from secret history to alternate history in a big way. So I kind of like that, where it's alternate history slightly. I like the occult stuff. I always like the occult stuff. The specifically the whole thing about the Ananyarba stuff, the occult society of the Nazis. That one has always been a big fascination of mine. Where they're trying to find like the old stuff to make it to prove that the Aryan race was great and everything. There's he had the stories from Indiana Jones and stuff.
Artifacts.
Artifacts. That's always been a huge fascination of mine, is the Nazi paranormal division. I like it. It's so rich. It's such a rich ground for stories. It really is. So that excited me about this project. It really did.
I like
I
this
can see the
bundle.
Wolfenstein comparison, yeah.
This is probably the bundle I'll get because I like all the covers, so I kind of would like to get at least all the covers and that extra book. Like, that's a good bundle. I like that.
Yeah, I love all these covers. We had a lot of great covers. We couldn't use them all. Had to keep it to 4, so some of them didn't make it, unfortunately, and it's nothing against them. It's just these ones are the ones that made the cup. I mean, we didn't even Dillard made a cover for it. We didn't even use that one, and it's a great cover.
There was a bit of inspiration from Power Rangers too, right, Flash?
More so like the Sentai genre itself. But yeah, I love that stuff. But nobody does anything with Sentai over here in America. It's huge in Japan, so it'd be fun to kind of go in with that and dabble with it a little bit. So if you're a fan of that stuff, or even like Kamen Rider, things like that.
Yeah, you're close.
Something you like.
You're almost
Nearly
at 1600 now.
1600 nearly.
Let's go.
Pumping along. Good on you, chat.
Yeah, big shout out to chat.
What a failure.
What a disaster, Flash. How will you
Apparently
ever
needs to
live?
make
We're
$1 million.
coping and seething over here, you know. You need comforting because this is such a horrible thing.
Do you want a hug?
Even
Need a
in
hug?
like peak economy, when I first started thinking about this, never did $1 million cross my mind. That's a crazy,
Would be nice.
crazy number. Eric's done it.
I don't think
Well, it's like when
not $1 million.
yeah, when you look at like those sales, it's just so much goes into that, like that number. Like it's not all like
Profit.
static, right? And well, especially not profit, but it's what are you selling, right? What how much the items are priced. All that stuff goes into why, like an actual sales number. Like the book sold, I think speaks more to really anything that you're doing as far as your readers are concerned, and that's to me is most important. I mean, this is a $17 book as well. Like it's like where you see guys price, like for example with ISOM when it first came out, the first book was $35. So when you have a lot of people buying something like that, then yeah, the sales numbers are naturally just going to be that high. But look, nobody for the most part is definitely independent on day 1 or 2 is able to sell 1,000 to over 1,000 people. Now we're closing in on 1,600 books. Like that ain't nothing to sneeze at, man. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about this project, and it's off to a great start.
For sure. Awesome.
I am now armed with a beer. I got myself a Sam Adams. So.
Yeah, cheers.
I just want to propose something to you real quick, Flash. This is a really good idea. The Mighty Golden Patriot, share my screen.
Oh, hold on. It used to just override it, but now you have to manually go in.
The Mighty Patriot baby. Cute things sell. Trust me on this.
Oh, yeah. This can be his child.
No, it's sidekick. Kids sell. Give him some green ears. Psh.
Oh, yeah. Some force powers.
Yeah, some force powers.
Oh, geez, that's all we need.
Flash, have you gave us the rundown on what the synopsis of? See, I'm using big words. The synopsis of the Golden Patriot. Have you gave us a brief synopsis of what's going to go on in this book? Because I would love to hear it.
Yeah, so wanted to do something with World War II, so we found a way to do like an alternate history take, and we got Jack, our man here. He's a pilot doing a reconnaissance mission, trying to trying to see what's going on, why those Nazis looking around this area. So they're looking around, they stumble upon him, he gets shot down, stumbles into a cave, and ends up finding a relic which transforms him into the Golden Patriot.
Yeah.
And I mean, from there it starts. It's him trying to get away from the Nazis and back to Allied forces so that they don't get this weapon that could, change the war and let the Nazis win.
Now this is a different timeline because I remember you were showing some art back in the day with some Nazi mech tank like technology. Am I
Yeah,
right
we
or
got
wrong?
some mechs in it for sure.
That's
We got a lot of they kind of look like Wolfenstein,
Yeah.
which it's not we put our own spin on it, but I really like those Wolfenstein mechs.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put that into this world, and Dillard came up with the design, and it's awesome.
Shout out to Dylan.
Yeah, Dillard's a man, dude.
Yeah, big shout out to Dylan, man.
Yeah, he took all of like the ideas that I had, I gave it to him, and the stuff that he spit out was amazing. Like he nailed everything that I wanted out of this world, and he built it, man. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did a great job. When everybody sees, like, obviously you can see some of the preview pages on the website, but yeah, once you get a hold of the book and you start seeing everything in its full context and the story start to progress, it's really, really good, man. Big shout out to Dillard, man. Did a phenomenal job.
I want to say this real quick, real fast. I'm loving the pay your artist shirts for the people out there who's
Dillard gets paid from those sales, so you're
but-
definitely paying the artist.
That's what I'm saying. For the people who telling Flash pay your artist, you support this book, mother freaker. That's how you getting the artist paid. You know what I mean? That's how you getting the artist paid.
I wanted to ask, with the whole thing with the Egyptian portion of the hero code, and then he finding something in Egypt and Relic in Egypt to make him change into the superhero. Was that inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh at all? Because that's kind of like that's what it would remind me of. Was like the
No,
Millennium
I
Puzzle.
just love Egyptian history.
Because I thought that was kind of cool. Like, it's like he found the Millennium Puzzle, and like this, because that's kind of what happened in that show.
God, I love you.
'Cause I was a big fan of that show growing up, a big fan. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
I just love
Dude, I have,
Egyptian
like, all the
history.
classic Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Egyptian history and their whole religion and all that I find fascinating, which is why I used Egypt.
They were geniuses, man.
Well, I mean, Egypt is a boss country. They've been around since the beginning.
Since the beginning of time.
Mhm.
They have a lot of gods. A lot of gods, man.
Yeah.
So, that's why we're
Almost
using
as many as the Greeks.
Well, you'll find out who the god is behind this when you read it.
Flash, for the artist that did the because I got to get that cover too, man. The one where Golden Patriot in front of the tank. You had that artist on the stream, right? On FlashCast before?
Was Kelsey?
Yeah,
Kelsey?
Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey's been on here before.
Okay, okay. I think I remember him. He has a beard.
Yeah, that's Kelsey. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah, he's
That's-
good people, man.
That's a work of art right there.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
I remember when you were sending me that. He was like, because he did it the way they did. We had to get a scan and everything. That was like, oh man, you got Kelsey to do a cover. It's sick. Yeah, it came out great.
Kelsey shook things up because I didn't think he was. I wouldn't have even been mad because I hadn't seen him in a while or heard from him. Like, because Kelsey, if you know Kelsey Shannon, like he takes off sometimes and just doesn't come back. He like vanishes and then reappears, like sometimes maybe even a year later. And I hadn't heard from him, so I didn't think that cover was coming. And then out of the blue, he shows up like right as we're getting ready to, get things rolling. And he's like, "Here's the cover, man." And I was very thankful because it's a great cover.
Yeah, it
Real
is.
quick-
It's
But
really
I wouldn't have
good.
been mad
Okay.
if something happened and he didn't make it. I wasn't even at one point. I was like, he just vanished and is probably busy. It's fine.
Real quick, real fast though. This is my only beef with this campaign. Why the freak that poster where he lifting up the tank? Why wasn't that a cover too, man?
That was an old cover, and then Dillard did another one that might get added in a stretch goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, my favorite covers are the one where he's holding the flag, and I think the one that's done by the girl who did Fiendish, where he's kind of
Irene.
like with his hand out.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones
Yeah,
I
it's Renee's
got,
cover.
and then I got the one where he's like the painted cover. whichever one that is. So I got those 3.
That's Kelsey. Yeah,
Yeah.
Those are the ones I like the most.
they're all good. They're
But
all
that
good.
one where he's holding the flag, that shit looks like it's straight out of the 90s. Like it
Yeah.
just looks like something that it would exist back then, in a good way.
Yeah, Rob's art on that is sick. And
Rob killed
Marcos's
that cover.
colors, man, is he's one of the best in the business.
Yeah, I've been following Rob Willis for some time. That dude is amazing, man.
Yeah, he's cold, man.
Yeah, he kind of take me back to those the Image 9 the Image
Yeah.
mid 90s.
He's cut from that cloth for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. shout out to Rob, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did a good job with it. Rob is a great artist.
Yeah.